Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to DavidPlays. We are back from watching Harry Potter and the Cursed Child Part 2. That's it. It's done. Harry Potter 8, the 8th story. Finito. Is there going to be something after this? Probably no, or yes, maybe. I don't know. Do I want something else? I don't know. It's like the same. It's similar to how when Harry Potter, you know, the 7 books, the series ended. Like, well, at the time we didn't know.
Oh my gosh.
If there was going to be something else after that. Now, we're not so sure. But at the same time, I guess this is something completely different. Anyway, today we're going to share with you our thoughts just coming out of the theater, just like in the raw first impressions of what this was. It's going to be a spoiler-free, as by the way, if you haven't watched my first video, we did a video about our thoughts on part 1, and these are going to be just our thoughts on the whole thing as a whole. So yeah, this is going to be spoiler-free, but as always, disclaimer, if you're like me, any tiny bit of information is going to feel spoilery just because of like for me, I didn't want to have like any preconceived notions and like other people's opinion of it on my mind as I watch it. So if you're like just like me, do not watch this, because that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna share with you and Jacob as well. This is Jacob, by the way.
Hi.
I just assuming that you watch part 1 where I introduce all this. So if you don't watch, you don't like that, you can you know, skip this video. You don't have to see it. But if you are interested in our opinions, that's what I do in this channel. But anyway, what do you think? What are your first reactions, feelings, thoughts?
All in all, I loved it. I thought it was well done. I thought everything came together at the end. Everything came together like a bow on a present, and I don't know what else to say. I mean, I feel like I'm almost.
You know, one of my fears coming.
It's Harry Potter. I mean,
one of my fears walking here was like, what the heck am I like? This is going to be a short video because like, what is there to say? Like, it's like. It's hard to just talk about it without like spoiling everything, right? But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know.
I loved it. I thought it was really great.
There you go.
Now, what did you think?
I mean, I think it was just an amazing time. Oh. I think it was an amazing time. It was fun. It was, I was laughing.
There were definitely moments where it was just like, gut bursting, I felt.
Yes, absolutely. It was hilarious. It was dramatic. Like, I was laughing, I was crying, I was cheering. It was so much fun. It was great. I don't necessarily think it was, you know, perfect, but, you know, but
then you have to ask yourself, how would you have improved it?
I think there's definitely many things that I would improve. So, for example, I feel like at the very end of the play, you know, as Jacob said, like everything came together, everything was lovely, and it gives you a sense of the importance of this story and why, you know, it's not, this is just not like a senseless sequel, you know, you get the feeling that, you know, there is a purpose, like there is a reason why this story was told, like, there was something the writers wanted to say, and I feel like that was important enough that, you know, you could have its own Harry Potter story. So in that way, I think like everything came together very well. Having said that, you know, as I was watching it, I felt there were, you know, sometimes I felt like a big thing it was that it kind of felt kind of like separated from each other a bit, like even like so that's, you would think that might be like a one of the dangers of making part 1 and part 2, but then again, you know, like the first part of part 1 and then the intermission, the second part of part 1 and the first part of part 2 and the second part of part 2, they all kind of feel like a bit you know, like like they are all doing different things, and sometimes it's hard to, it was hard to ground it to the overarching arc, you know. It felt like the story was going on all kinds of different directions, and I didn't necessarily felt that the overarching theme was always at all times, you know, really grounded.
Yes.
So I feel like that is like what I feel like on the of the major things. That's like one of the like the thing that is perhaps more relevant.
And I definitely agree. I think if there was one thing for me, it could have been that the story was more focused. In one word, I would have liked it to be a little more focused.
Yeah. I felt like sometimes, at the beginning, in the first part, like if you divide the story in four, in 4 parts,
right.
The first part was one story, the second part was another story, the third part, it was kind of like between the second part and the fourth part. But having said that, I mean, we loved it at the end. At the end, it felt, it was hilarious, it was powerful.
And that moment when we were all clapping in the crowd, I couldn't have felt like it could have gone any better. I loved it. I mean, it felt complete at that very moment. And that's what really mattered to me.
What did you like the more? Like the production, like the humor, the drama?
Honestly, what got me, I liked when all the music came together with the scenes. Because that's my thing. It gave me like goosebumps and like it all felt like it came together at some points. Like
how the moving pieces of the set, the actors.
Not even that, just how there were times when I felt like everything came together as one, and it gave me goosebumps all over, and I felt just completely immersed, and it was awesome. And that was definitely, I mean, if I had my number one thing was definitely how everything came together at some times.
I think what I appreciate the most of this story was that it had something to say. That it was not just a sequel with a plot. That there was like an actual significance and a reason for this story to be. And sometimes I feel like they could have done like a better job of focusing on that maybe as the story went along. But at the end of the day, it was there, and it was I again in this I cried a few times. Well, a few tears a few tears got out. And then the humor, it was hilarious. Maybe at some points, I'm gonna say it. Now I'm gonna say it because it's a criticism, and at the end of the day, these are all previews, so the story might they might actually make changes to it. I don't know if they'll change this, but one thing I didn't like was that the character of Ron was basically reduced to comic relief, and that's it.
But I thought Ron did an amazing job. The actor who portrayed Ron convinced me completely.
Oh no,
he was so funny.
I love him, and he was hilarious. I just wish the thing is, and obviously Hermione is an important, strong character, but you don't have to take away from who Ron is to make Hermione stronger, look stronger. I feel like that's what they did. Like they took away from Ron to build up Hermione. When Hermione can stand in her own 2 feet without diminishing the role of Ron. In the books, Ron, was the important character, best friend to Harry.
There was a companionship in the books that I did not feel came through in the play as well.
And he was an important character. You know what? This Ron reminded me of the Ron of the movies. I feel like the movies did something similar. I feel like the play did, took it all the way. Anyway, I didn't like that. But I did love that he was hilarious, and
he was so good.
So yeah, I mean, again, the play was a great time, a great balance between big humor, drama. I feel like that story had a heart. The only thing that I wish was better was just like storytelling. I feel like it's a great story. That's a great the eighth story is a great story. I feel they could have told it better.
It could have flowed a little more naturally.
Yeah. That's, I mean, in my personal opinion, I've never run the play.
I've never run the play either.
Yeah, anything else?
No, nothing else. I liked it. I liked the whole thing. It was awesome. I mean, every moment of it, I was enjoying it. What are your final thoughts, David?
I thought it was a great story. I thought it was worthy of being an 8th story. Not equal to the first 7, but its own thing. And maybe that is the reason why it's not a book. Maybe that's a good thing. It's cool that it's its own thing, that has never been done before. I feel, you know, it's an important. I feel like it's an important message, and it was a story worth telling. The only hiccup is that, you know, I felt like they could have done a better job at, even though, I mean, telling a story involves so many different things. Again, I had a great time watching it. I just felt like...
I almost want to say that there were too many plot points. There were too many moments where I felt like this was the main objective.
Exactly.
And it wasn't, and
I feel like...
fine, and it all came back in the end, and I loved it, but I felt like as I was watching it,
yeah, it was a lot of twists and turns, and sometimes that was a little too much. It was like, I don't know what I'm... Like, what
am I looking for?
Yeah, what am I looking for? What am I rooting for? What am I building myself up to when at each quarter of the story, you're like changing up everything. It's like each one of those is something different. And it's like, now can we root? Can we start to build up to something? Or like, it feels like you cut something off and then start something new, and cut something off, start something new. And that's what I did. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you for helping me articulate that. It's a great story. It was a great production, great acting, it's hilarious, a huge heart, great message. But they could have done a better job at making the whole thing feel one.
But in the end, it was a great time.
Having said that, it was beautiful, it was important, this is important. I mean, you definitely, like, at some point, hopefully you get to watch it. Otherwise, I guess, wait till the movie adaptation. It's bound to happen. I know that Daniel Radcliffe doesn't want to play Harry Potter. You're gonna play Harry Potter again. Who are you kidding? Come on.
It'll just shave and we'll get you all looking young.
What, young? He needs to look older. I don't think it's good that we're gonna wait till they look. But anyway, what do you guys think? Have any of you watched it? Have any of you read the script already? If you have, let us know in the comments. If you haven't seen it, if you're excited, let us know that as well. If you're not excited, let us know that. The only thing we don't want in the comments is spoilers.
Don't you dare.
But anyway, those are our thoughts. Thank you for watching. Follow me on Twitter and Snapchat. But for now, I'll see you guys later.